to a cooler room, your body temperature starts to drop, and that's going to help you to fall and stay asleep. Darkness is the key to melatonin production. Melatonin helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. It's secreted by the pineal gland. When you are exposed to blue light, it tricks your brain thinking it's daytime, and that shuts off melatonin production, oftentimes up to 3 hours. So if you're reading a tablet an hour before bed, that's going to shut off that melatonin production. So try to make any reading that you're doing at night the old-fashioned way. Use a book. Try not to stay in bed too long if you're having difficulty falling asleep. You want to train your brain that the bed is for sleeping. So try, if you're just having the biggest struggle falling asleep, get out of bed, go into another room, read a book, something boring preferably that's going to help you feel sleepy again. And then once you feel tired, go back into bed and try it again. Tons of research out there that is showing meditation improves sleep tremendously. So I highly encourage any type of meditation practice. If you haven't done it, if you've tried and failed, go back to it. Meditation is something that should be done really without judgment. Anything that you're doing, even if the whole, let's say you're doing 10 minutes, your mind is racing, that's okay. You've at least set the time aside to work on it. For those coffee drinkers out there, having coffee after noon is definitely going to have an impact on your ability to fall and stay asleep. Coffee has a half-life of 6 hours. That means 6 hours after you've had that cup of coffee, you've only reduced the amount of caffeine in it by 50%. So think about that, the later that you have coffee and the more coffee that you have, how that might be impacting your quality of sleep. Even if you're able to fall asleep, no question it's impacting the quality of sleep. And alcohol has a similar impact. It's going to fragment your sleep and block your REM sleep. Sleeping pills are sedative hypnotics. They knock you out. They're not giving you that natural sleep. I realize that certain people need to use them for medical reasons, but anytime that you can reduce the amount that you need and utilize natural ways of falling asleep, that is just going to help your quality or restorative sleep. If you are on beta blockers for a heart condition, talk to your doctor. It does block the natural production of melatonin, and so supplementing with melatonin if you're having trouble sleeping might be a very good idea. So the last thing that we're going to touch upon is sleeping position. So what is your preference? Love this picture. I've used it in a lot of my talks. It's just every time I see it, I die laughing. So one thing is for sure, if you go to bed at night without pain and you wake up with neck pain or back pain, you can pretty much guarantee that your sleeping position is the cause for your neck or low back pain. Sleeping is a time for healing. It's one of the keys to a good night's sleep is supporting your body well so that your body can relax into those supports and focus on sleep. If you're not feeling safe or supported, you're going to be moving around all night. You're not going to progress through your sleep cycles, and that fragmented sleep is going to have a huge impact on your healing capacity. A colleague of mine, Alex Blank, did a really amazing job explaining why some of us wake up sore in the morning and how to problem solve using different pillow supports. I've used some of this information in some of the slides coming up, but we've made this article available through our newsletter. We might have even attached it to this. It is something that I highly recommend reading. There's really great information in there. So the least optimal position for you stomach sleepers out there, not a great idea. One of the reasons primarily for this is that it creates a tremendous amount of extension in the lower back, and it creates rotation and extension in the neck. There are a lot of areas where nerves come out of the neck to innervate the arms and rest of the body. And when you're in a rotated and extended position like you see here, that compresses not only the nerves, but the vascularity as well. And so if you sleep in this position and wake up with numbness and tingling in the hands, that's most likely why. An alternative to stomach sleeping would be placing a pillow under the leg, under the abdomen, so you kind of run it under the shoulder and use a very thin pillow, if no pillow at all, under the head to allow for the close to neutral curvature of the neck and spine. And you'll find that this is still a very comfortable position if stomach sleeping is the only way that you're able to sleep. Back sleeping is favorable only if you don't snore. What occurs during back sleeping is that the jaw falls back, the tongue falls back, blocking the airway, forcing the tissues to rub against one another, leading to snoring. That causes you to get kicked out of bed, which causes more snoring, which then leads to all kinds of funky positioning, leading to neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, and really crappy sleep. So this is just an example of how the jaw and tongue are going to fall back. No air can get through here, forces you to open mouth breathe. So this is a picture of Alex, and he kindly allowed me to utilize this. When you are sleeping on your back, there's a bunch of different options to provide support to you. First is going to be in through your head and neck. You want to make sure that your neck is supported and that the pillow is supporting your head, but not pushing it up too far. Next, you can use a small support under your low back. You want to make sure this is not too thick. And probably the most important support you can use when back sleeping is a pillow right up against your sit bones here, as far up as you can make it, and then having it run down the length of the legs here. Some of the primary faults that we see is that this pillow under the head is too thick or too thin, causing too much extension or too much flexion in the neck. You want your head parallel to the floor. You want to have the pillow under the back, again, not being too thick, or for some people, if they don't use it at all, that could create some increased tension. And then, like I said before, you want that pillow under the legs really right up against those sit bones. This is a lot of pillows, and it takes a lot of repetition to get used to. Just like any behavior, it takes time to get used to it. So it is worth the time. Only use the amount of pillows that you need, though. Maybe just putting a pillow under your sit bone is enough for you and you don't need anything else. So try to problem solve through this. My favorite position is more a side sleeping position. You want to make sure that your head is in a nice neutral position, and you might want to get some arm support as well. You want to make sure that the pillow is not pushing your chin, though. So you want to have the majority of the pressure kind of under that cheekbone as well as your head. And when you're on your side, I'm going to show another picture of this. You want to have a little towel. If you tend to have wide hips and a more narrow waistline, then that's going to create a bend in your spine. And so just supporting that with a little towel will help keep better neutrality. And then putting a pillow between the knees as well. So this would be the maximum amount of pillows that you would use. Again, you're going to want to problem solve. Somebody that has shoulder pain, this pillow under the arm, which goes deep into the armpit, really helps to offload the shoulder off of the neck. You can also, here is between the rib cage and pelvis, like that previous picture that I showed you, just keeping the spine in a more neutral position. Key is having the pillow going from the groin down to the ankles. That keeps your hip, pelvis, low back in a very nice neutral position. We already talked about the upper arm. And so some of the common faults is this pillow being too thick. You see how Alex's neck is perfectly straight across, and that pillow goes deep into his neck to support his cervical spine. The other thing is when this pillow is not long enough, you're going to move a little bit too excessively, trying to find a more comfortable foot-leg position. And then getting that pillow really deep in the arm if you need that pillow under the arm. So this is just a slide. This is the second to last slide on why sleeping on the left side is preferable to the right side. Again, some people have shoulder issues, so they can't sleep on the left side. But these are just a couple of the areas that have been researched based on left side lying sleeping. Typically, you're going to shift from left side to right side. That is very normal throughout the night to be able to move, but these are just a couple of things to think about for sleeping on your left side. So take home messages: breathe light to breathe right and make sure it's nasal breathing. Learn to exhale to reduce stress and improve overall health. Think about stacking your body segments to reduce strain on your joints and improve your posture as well as your access to your diaphragm for breathing. And then finally is related to sleep positioning. Make sure you're well supported with pillows in a neutral position and prioritize your sleep hygiene. Thank you very much, everybody. So I am happy to hang out here for any questions. I'll look in the chat. Questions, anybody? Hello? Bueller?
Brad, what are your thoughts on eye masks?
On eye masks?
Yeah, for darkness.
Great question. So I would say it's a two-part answer. One is your tolerance to having something on your face initially might be very difficult to accommodate to. However, there are certain people that are highly light sensitive. Even when your eyes are closed, you still are filtering light through your eyelids. And so if you can't get blackout shades, if you have direct sunlight that does come in, or if there's street light that seeps through the room, then an eye mask is a great option for sure.
Great.
And it might just take some time to get used to wearing, but having light coming in will definitely be a major disruptor of your sleep.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Got it. Thanks for the question. Okay, so some questions. Would you repeat about thinking right before bed, and what do you recommend of things to do the next day? So thanks for the question, Todd. I would say in terms of your thought process before going to bed, you want to make sure that when you put your head on the pillow, your focus is really on sleeping. It's kind of like meditation. When you're trying to get into a state of meditation, you're trying to be present and you're trying to focus on one thing. And that might be your breathing, that might be a specific word, that might be, a warm light that you're imagining. And so when you go to bed, if you have a lot of thoughts that are bouncing around in your head, you're going to try to problem solve. You're going to try to figure out a way of solving those problems and working through them. And that's going to produce cortisol. That's going to keep you awake. And so the opportunity to brain dump in a notebook where you're just putting all of your thoughts into that notebook, knowing that that's down on paper, that exists. Now I don't have to worry about that. I can put my head on the pillow and really focus on relaxing, counting sheep, whatever it is that allows you to focus less on a lot of things and maybe focus on one thing. So thanks for the question. Let's see if there's anything else. Could you expand the slide to fill the screen? Oops, I missed that one, sorry.
Brad?
Yes, hey Bella, how are you?
Good, thank you. It's such a great lecture.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to know if you are going to record them and if we could go back to them later on.
That's a very good question. It was recorded, yeah. So probably what we'll do is post it either in our Facebook or on our website. So we will certainly have the at least part of the talk available.
Okay, that's great. Now, if it is, can it be public, meaning that I could share it with other people or put it on my Facebook or?
Yeah,
and it-
we're anything that we post, we love to have reposted. So absolutely, love to
Oh,
share information. We're all about open sourcing, for sure.
excellent. Yeah, I'm looking forward for each lecture then. It's just so great. Thank you so much.
Well, awesome. And thank you, everybody. If there's no other questions, for tuning in. Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1:30, they're 15-minute snippet talks and really movement lessons to get you feeling well, break up your day. And then on Fridays, we're going to continue with the long 45-minute lecture series. There is a possibility we talked about on some days repeating on a Tuesday, maybe having a morning and an afternoon session, then maybe a Thursday, an afternoon and evening session, just to give people more opportunity with different schedules to be able to enjoy them as well. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend ahead. The weather's supposed to be amazing.
Brad,
Yes.
on the same topic, all these lectures that you're going to give us in the future, short and long, can I share the link with other people or?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we want as many people to have the opportunity to learn from us and interact with us and enjoy. So yes, please share with as many people as you know.
Thank you, Brad. You're the
You're
best.
welcome.
You're the best.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, a couple other questions that have come through here. Any tips on how to pick a good pillow? That's a wonderful question and one that we get frequently. You know, pillows they're kind of like snowflakes. You know, everybody's a little bit different in what their needs are based on anatomy, based on neck lengths, based on head sizes, shoulder sizes. There are certain things that we really like about characteristics of a pillow. We tend to really like down feather pillows because they have adjustability. Now, if you have allergies to them, if your allergies aren't too severe, then there are covers that you can get that will block some of the negative impacts from the feathers. There are some really good alternative down feather pillows that are out there as well. You know, pillows are something that are so individual. You have to try a bunch of them until you find really what works. Some of the things that tend not to work are the large pillows that have rolls in them that are contoured, because they're oftentimes made for a very specific size person. And so that can oftentimes create a situation where the pillow is much too large for your neck and it's pushing your neck into a position that we wouldn't want you. So the most important thing is when you get your pillow in place, you should love it. You should feel very supported, and your head should feel supported from your neck all the way out to your shoulder, taking up all of this space in through here with your neck remaining here. If the pillow is too thick, you're going to get compression on one side and opening or elongation on the other. So the other thing is choosing a good sheet, a pillowcase. So some people love satin pillowcases because it reduces wrinkles, it produces catching, it doesn't get as warm. There are also some really great cotton pillowcases out there as well. So that can make a big difference. You might have the best pillow in the world, but you don't like your pillowcase. So I would definitely spend some time figuring out you know, what pillowcase works best for you as well. I think that's the last of the questions that I see on here. Just want to thank everybody for attending. This was really great. Loved your questions. And you can always email me at bgilden@elitehealthservices.com if you have any additional questions. And wish you a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. So how do you get out?